question, but I agree with you totally on the economic rebound and the tax reform. If it would happen, the can would happen to get kicked down the road farther than what you suggested, and I agree how that could rebound things. We've got other issues in our industry that deal with not only the financing and tax, but you know, you can be legislated out of business, regulated out of business, and taxed out of business. And you know, in the industry that's building and repairing and working on our houses, we've got issues with the Department of Labor and EPA, and you know, what we're going to do with Fannie and Freddie, and you know, how do we attack and address those issues in your mind if the can is kicked down the road further to the point that we can't be patient and wait?
Well, it's going to be very unfortunate, because when you've got the regulatory culture ought to be one which is empowering people to create a safe and healthy work environment. Empower the small business. In other words, change it from gotcha to how do we help? You know, here's our set of procedures in which we can help you create a safe working environment. You're going to have to follow them, but if you also have a better idea as to how to reach this objective, because it better fits your particular circumstance, bring it forward, we'll create safe harbor for you. Now, where did all that go? I mean, that used to be the spirit of the way in which this worked. I mean, when I was in the city council, I mean, Larry Williams, who now runs the Malone Center, was the one of the regulators. The city, I forget the name of the position, but you remember, you know who I'm talking about. And we said, Larry, I said, and he was very sensitive to that, attentive to this. You know, look, this is not gotcha. Don't go out there to find who you can find, but go out there to educate so that we're creating a regulatory environment that is actually trying to meet the objectives of the regulation, the safe working place or whatever it was, while it is assisting business. The two things are not mutually incompatible.
Right.
In fact, they should be compatible. And I don't know how this culture change shifted so radically. We just got an email from a detasseling company in Seward who is being investigated now by the FBI for the potential violation of interstate child labor laws, because a group of kids who have been doing this year after year came to stay with their grandparents and worked detasseling, and they were from Iowa. And so they're being charged with, you talked to them, didn't you? With interstate transport of minors. Child labor law. Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
You know, once we get past that in our industry, you know, I've been surprised that it hasn't been recognized on the national level any more than it has been, but, you know, the availability of skilled and trained labor, you know, we all want the economic rebound, but, you know, I spent the last 3 days at a energy and codes conference in Omaha, and you know, I talked with multiple employers, and one of them said, you know, if I could hire 5 more guys today that knew just a little bit, he goes, I'd hire them. I can't find them. And you know, we've got lots of cooperative programs with Lincoln Public Schools, with SEC Milford, with the university. You know, their programs were full with waiting lists before the economic downturn, and then the class size got so small they could barely have a class, and they're filling back up, but there's lag time.
There's a lag. Interesting.
So we've got lots of challenges, and you know, it would be great if they would deal with this tax issue, and that would allow businesses to structure accordingly, and we would know how to deal with the other issues, you know, appropriately. And I know you don't like to waste time, but if we make change in one of these other programs to deal with the tax issue, then we might have to go back and change it to align it with the tax reform. So it's kind of frustrating, I guess.
No, I
know you feel the same way.
Well, you got to create an environment in which we culturally celebrate the potential for small business to empower people to make things, do good things for themselves, for others, and you create the governing structures that actually, whether it's through the tax code or regulatory environment, are beneficial to the business. Because if someone is going to abuse labor, that's not a fair playing field. They should be stopped, not only because of the abuse to the person, but it's simply wrong for business. Right. And I guess it's a shift in presumption. You presume people want to do the right thing, not are trying to do the wrong thing. Right. And I think that takes a shift in the culture. I think just that would help. Okay, we're here, we have the responsibility to create a safe work environment. What are your plans? Here's the standards you have to meet. Here's how we can help you to meet them. If you have a better idea, because we've got to fit everybody in the same box, and it meets the standard, well, good for you. Just show it to us. To me, that's what makes sense. That's the way I